What does 1/2 divided by 1/4 actually mean? Let me illustrate this with this yummy Kit Kat. I love Kit Kats. Anyway, if I split my Kit Kat in half, because I am going to have to eat 1/2 of this Kit Kat, so I'm only going to share 1/2 of this Kit Kat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the whole Kit Kat so you can see where the whole Kit Kat is represented. And I'm going to actually take out 1/2 of it, just put it off to the side so that you can see that I'm only addressing 1/2. But I do want the whole amount to be represented in here because that's going to be important when I talk about what I'm dividing it into. And what I'm dividing it into is into 1/4 sections. If I share this Kit Kat with my friends and everybody gets a 1/4 section, how many of my friends are actually going to get a piece of this Kit Kat? So if I divide it into 1/4 sections, so what I can do with that is take that, let me change colors, and half and half. So now I have 1/4 wedges. In what's remaining of this half, I can see that I have 1 and 2 pieces of candy to share. 1/2 divided by 1/4 is 2. What this means is how many times can 1/4 sections fit into 1/2? Again, we can see that it is 2. Let's look at another example. 2.5 divided by 1 1/4. What I'm essentially asking is how many times does 1 1/4 go into 2.5? So let's connect this to a scenario. I have a cake that I want to make. Each layer requires 1 1/4 cup of sugar, but I only have 2.5 cups of sugar. So let's illustrate that so we can see how many times 1 1/4 goes into 2.5. I'm going to start with drawing 2.5 cups of sugar. There's 1 cup of sugar, a second cup of sugar, and I know my pictures aren't beautiful, but they just have to be functional. And I need a third cup because I have more than 2 cups of sugar. Let's go ahead and fill them full of sugar. So the first cup is full of sugar. Second cup is full of sugar. And the third cup, we only have a half a cup of sugar. Now, again, I want to divide 1 1/4 into all 3 of these sets of cups. Now, I have to divide into 1/4, but I've already represented this as 1/2. But we do know that this equals 1/2. Half of 4 is 2/4. So 1/2 does equal or represent 2/4. So if I divide the whole thing into fourths, I can see that 2 out of my 4 sections right here represent 2/4. So I have an equivalent amount represented here. So this represents 1/4. This represents 1/4 as well. Okay, so now when I divide this up, my first cup plus a bit represents 1/4. So 1 1/4 represents my first layer. So I can make 1 layer for sure. And the second layer of cake, I need this cup of sugar plus this layer of sugar as well. So I can actually make a second layer, but I cannot make a third layer. So that means 2 1/2 divided by 1 1/4 makes 2 or equals 2.